Hello, peoples of the tube, and welcome back to Ohmydinosare Story Corner.
Ohmydinosare Story Corner.
It's the last day of the month, although I'm filming these in bulk on the 22nd of November. I'll change the calendar for next week's one so it looks like it's nowadays, but we are in the past, which is appropriate because this book is 70 years old this year. It's a classic. It's really not. It was published the same year Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip got married. So there's a nice historical tie-in for you. Now, whereas with The Boy Who Broke His Promises, I did read it in advance just to see how doable, like in terms of length, these would be. I'm going into this blind. Last time I read this story, I was maybe 9. So I have no idea what the rest of this book is. I mean, looking at the table of contents, one of them is called The Two Bad Boys. Sadly, that's story number 6, so we're not going to get to that one this year. Maybe next year. Bad-tempered Betty. The Boy Who Was Too Clever sounds familiar. Fairy in the Cage sounds kind of familiar. Do As You're Told. I think that's someone that they call Do As You're Told, who didn't do as he was told, or maybe she. To be honest, I don't really remember. Strange Christmas Trees. That's it. Yeah, that's all of them. He Wouldn't Wipe His Shoes. That's gonna be riveting, isn't it? It's 7 pages long. But we're not going to cover that one. We've only got 4 stories that we're going to do this. I worked it out. Unless I start Christmas week really late, there should be 4 of these, and then 3 weeks from now should be in Christmas week. Anyway, you don't care about that. You want to hear about Matilda Screams the House Down by Enid Blyton. Obviously, they're all by Enid Blyton. There was once a little girl who screamed whenever things went wrong. My goodness, how she screamed. She made everybody jump, and the cat and dog flew behind the sofa in fright. The canary flew behind the sofa. The problem with now, of course, is any reactions are I'm just ad-libbing. I've not had any time to think of humorous things to say while reading through it. I don't know what the story is. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there's a girl that screams. You've got a shot looking at her underwear on the second page. That's unfortunate. Do you want to see the pictures? There's only like one picture per. Here's last week's one. Here's Albert and his great aunt. Just for completeness' sake. Go away, dear. I'm busy. That's nice. I don't know who does these illustrations, but I want to put them on the list. What did it say? It doesn't know. I don't care. So yeah, the cat and the dog flew behind the sofa because they had wings. Very convenient. In fright, the people next door shut their windows and passers-by wondered whatever was the matter. I don't know what to do with Matilda, said her mother. If I smack her for screaming, I go to jail. No, I don't. She only screams more loudly. If I take no notice at all, she screams until I do. And if I give her what she's screaming for, she makes up her mind to scream next time. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, you've made a bad child. You failed entirely. Whatever you did, raising her up to this point, you failed. Now, one day, when Matilda was screaming, a little band of brownies passed by. Now, for context, this isn't the little Girl Guides junior level. These are fictitious brownies. They're like elves. They turn up a lot in Enid Blyton stuff. You don't really hear about them nowadays. I don't really know why that is. But brownies, that's what they are. They're also not a chocolatey, delicious thing to eat. That's my favourite type of brownie, is the one that you eat. Then, to be honest, the elves I'm fairly indifferent to. The Girl Guide ones I'm entirely indifferent to. I don't know if I knew anyone ever that was in the brownies. I feel like I must have done. But no. The only type of brownie that I'm really interested in is the eating kind. That's why I'm so fat. Okay. So yeah, a little band of brownies. Oh gosh, we've got something else that we like coming up. When they heard the dreadful screams, their hair stood on end, and they trembled with fright. Then one of them peeped in at the window and saw that it was only Matilda sitting on the floor, kicking her heels on the carpet, screaming for all she was worth. "I want ice cream!" screamed Matilda. Do you know what she wants? Ice cream pudding. Yeah. And she yelled and howled till the cat jumped up the chimney in fright. How? How did you do that, cat? How did you get up there? Why would you go up there? "You naughty girl," said Bronn. "You naughty girl," said... It's Bronn. It's the... what's... Jerome Flynn from Game of Thrones. The chief brownie, looking in at the window. "You very naughty girl." It sounds more like Sean Bean. "You'll scream the place down one day." Matilda looked at him angry. "I wish I could," she said. "I'd like to scream the house down. Then perhaps my mummy would give me strawberry ice cream." Right, quite specific now. Strawberry. She gives you vanilla, then no luck there. Keep on screaming. Carry on screaming. It's quite a good film. I mean, it's not a great film, but it's quite good. Bronn turned to his little men. Just a load of Peter Dinklages. "She said she'd like to scream the place down," he said with a grin. "Shall we take her to Tumbledown Land and let her try?" "Yes!" they shouted. "Why are they all so high-pitched?" They shouted, putting their hands over their ears, for Matilda had started again. As can be seen from this week's illustration. I wish I put the illustration in last week's one. Matilda starts again. And yeah, it's rather inappropriate, but never mind. Like I said, I don't know who was responsible for it. Oh, this is really short. There's only 2 more pages. This is great. Way better than that. Last one just was on loop. A never-ending loop. Into the house they swarmed, caught hold of Matilda by the hair, the hands, and her dress, and hurried her, still screaming, out of the window. Matilda was most surprised. She struggled. That's just a complete sentence. She struggled. Great sentence. She wriggled. Another sentence. It was no good at all. Very short sentences. She simply had to go with those little brownies. Just, little brownie bites, little box of them. Tasty. They hurried her down the road and into a lane she never remembered seeing before. Into a wood she went, and out at the other side. And there she was, in funny Tumbledown Land. There were strange-looking houses everywhere, all crooked and leaning over as if they must fall at any moment. They must! There were sheds just hanging together by a few nails. It was a funny-looking place. You know what? You've said funny-looking already. Like twice. Now, Matilda, said Bronn pleasantly, you can scream the place down. Go into this house to begin with. They took her into a tumble-down place, and the little men sat her on the floor with a bump. Matilda was very angry indeed. She opened her big mouth and screamed at the top of her voice. My, how she screamed. Yeah, I don't like screaming noises, so I already don't like this girl. Like, Whiny Albert, I didn't like. Screamy Matilda, I also don't like. So, I mean, I suppose the book's succeeding in that respect. And she screamed the place down. Yes, she really did. She actually did. The whole house came tumbling down round her with a crash and a bang. My goodness, Matilda was startled. She stopped screaming for a moment. That's how startled she was. And looked at all the mess. A bit of brick hit her on the head and hurt her. Ah! She screamed again. Down fell another bit of the house, and soon it was all in pieces around her, and dust flying about everywhere. Matilda was really frightened, yeah, because not frightened enough to do anything. Bronn peeped round the mess. Good, he said. You screamed that place down beautifully, didn't you? Now come and do another. Poor Matilda was dragged into an old, smelly shed and dumped on the floor again. This sounds more like a story about stranger danger, the more I read it. She was very angry, so she opened her mouth and let out another... Doesn't say another. Such a piercing yell that even the brownies jumped in alarm. Why? Are they the least likely to jump an alarm? Why even the brownies? You know, also the brownies. Don't be racist to the brownies. I wonder if that's why the brownies never turn up. Because, do you think? Let's not overthink this. Let's not overthink this story. Let's just make fun of the fact that we're reading a child's book. Down fell the shed at once. Not a bit of it was left. A small board fell on Matilda's leg, and she screamed in pain. This serves her right. The brownies pulled her up at once. Don't. Well, it's not Braun specifically. It's just the brownies. Don't waste your screams, they said. This is fun to watch. Come and scream another place down. And into a bigger... It's easier to do with Braun's voice. And into a bigger house they pushed the angry little girl, still yelling and screaming. The house began to fall down at once. Matilda was afraid she would be hurt and tried to get out, but the brownies pushed her back. No, don't come out yet, they said. You haven't screamed the place down, Matilda. Scream! I shan't, said... She's got a very deep voice compared to them. I shan't, said the little girl, and she shut her mouth firmly. Your mother won't give you ice creams, said Prod suddenly. That's all it takes. In this world, no ice cream is an end of the world scenario. Suddenly, of course, Matilda at once screamed in anger, and down came the house. Crash, bang, bang. Crash, smash, bang, clang. I should have read this in advance. It would have got me prepared for some of the complicated wordplay. Matilda rushed out in fright, and she actually remembered that she had better not scream in case she brought down a chimney on top of her. So she is learning. She's learning from her mistakes. Take me home, oh, take me home, begged Matilda. I don't like this. I don't like screaming the place down. Well, no, what a twist. She didn't like doing it. Well, if you're sure you're not going to scream anymore just now, I suppose the fun's over, said Braun. But look here, Matilda, we'll be along the next time you scream, and we'll let you scream a few more places down for us. It's such fun to watch. It's kind of like the Yorkshire Arthur Going wagon. Matilda pursed up her mouth and didn't say a word. If those little men thought she was going to scream any more places down for them, they were mistaken, Matilda thought to herself. Good gracious... Herself, there's multiple Matildas. Good gracious! She might have been badly hurt! Because, yeah, we only just realised that if a house falls on you, you might be hurt. It's possible. It's not likely, but it is possible. You might just possibly be hurt. She was taken home. Her mother popped her head in the room and saw Matilda playing quietly with her toys. I'm just going out to the town, she said to Matilda. I won't be long. I want to come too, said Matilda. But her mother said no. Matilda was just going to open her mouth and scream when she remembered those little men. This is a really unfortunate book. She shut her mouth firmly. She was not going to scream any more places down. And dear me, how dreadful it would be if she screamed her own house down round her ears. That would never do. That just wouldn't do, would it? No, we can't be happy with that. That's really inconvenient. Her mother was surprised that Matilda didn't scream as usual, but she was even more surprised that as the days went by and Matilda screamed no more. Like that Doctor Who story, Scream No More. It's not like that. How pleased everyone was, but nobody knew why Matilda was suddenly so good. But I know. And so do you. And if you know a screamer, just give them this story to read, will you? It would be fun to take them to Tumble Down Land and see them screaming a few houses down round their heads. Wouldn't it? It would not. Well, that was a weirdly Tommy Wiseau aside. That was Matilda Screams the House Down. Come back next week if you can bear it. I mean, this one was half the length of last week's. So, I mean, the next story is... how long? Oh, about 8 pages. A similar length to the first one. One of those will be a picture. Come back and see the story of the strange blues. There's no picture. Where's the picture? Okay, well next week's one doesn't have a picture, so yeah, it's all just a wall of text. Come back next week for the Strange Blue Suite, the first video of December, and it's one of these. And my voice is starting to go. and I'm only halfway through filming these. Bye!
Tell me a story, oh ho ho, it's nearly Christmas, oh ho ho, it's a story, oh ho ho, I don't like this, oh ho ho, that is what Sewage said when he watched it, oh ho ho.
We've got a comment here about these videos from our old friend Sewage. He's been annoyed at the prospect of sitting through more of my videos since 2015. Thanks. I've told him thanks. So, see you next week.